So where are people like you that found me on YouTube moving to? Today I'm going to share with you a few of the families that have reached out and where they ended up buying their home and relocating to the Austin area. We're going to start out with number one, and that is Round Rock. That is where most people that found me here on YouTube have decided to move to. The first family that I'm going to share with you, they actually reached out and they wanted to invest in the area, and they decided to buy a home as an investment, as a rental. They're actually coming from California. They reached out, they set up a call, and they're like, hey Julio, these are the different suburbs that we have in mind. And after we had a couple of phone calls, they decided to proceed with Round Rock. They scheduled a time to come down. We did all the research for them. They also did some research on their own. We looked at a few homes, and then they honed in and they zeroed in Round Rock. Why? And I'll give you the number one reason why they decided to invest in Round Rock. It was the school districts. According to them, they said, hey, we want a home in a good location, and also we want top-ranked school districts. So this is why we decided to go with Round Rock. That is one family. The second family, they actually reached out last year, and as you guys may know, or you may not know, relocating can be a difficult task. There are many moving parts. The number one thing that you have to do is to get your job in order. Even if you're a remote worker, keep this in mind. This is a pro tip, and it has happened many times with people that have reached out, is that even though they believe to be a hybrid or a fully remote candidate, a lot of the times they are not, or they have to wait a certain amount of time in order to transfer. Or another thing is that when they believe that they're fully remote and they go to put in their notice and tell their employer, hey, I'm transferring to Austin, Texas, they realize that they are not fully remote and they cannot do the transfer. So before you even think about moving out here, make sure that you know if you are fully remote and you can move without any restrictions. But anyways, with this family in particular, beautiful family, they actually had 2 kids last year, and when they came in this year, they had one on the way. Now, I think they're actually about to give birth, so really exciting news for this family. They also decided to settle down in Round Rock. They were actually trying to decide between Round Rock, Hutto, and Leander, but they decided to go for Round Rock. Again, one of the common themes for this particular suburb is the top-ranked school districts, and they actually decided to buy a home in one of the lowest, if not the lowest, tax rate there is in the entire metro Austin area, with a 1.75% tax rate, which is unheard of, especially for a brand new community. Now, when the community is a little bit more established, typically the tax rates are a little bit lower, but when we're talking about a brand new community, a 1.75% tax rate is unheard of. So if you have any questions about this community, I can definitely help you find a home here, and that's what this particular family did. You're also only about 8 to 10 minutes from the Kalahari Resort, 8 to 10 minutes from the Dell Diamond, about 8 to 10 minutes from the Old Settlers Park that has a multi-purpose complex with a soccer field, cricket field, and a bunch of trails and everything for you and the family to do. So really, really nice location. The third family, they actually just found us not too long ago. We were able to find them a home in a month and a half from the time that they gave us a call to the time that they moved in. And it's actually a couple that reached out there all the way out in New Jersey. And this is a common theme for people like you. If you're coming from New Jersey, that New York area, a lot of them say the same thing. Hey, Julio, we want to buy our first home, but we can't afford it. Prices are way too high here. We just can't do it anymore. Either the homes are too high in price, or they're super, super old homes, or we don't want to be that far away from the city, whether it's New Jersey or New York. And again, don't quote me on it because I'm not familiar with that area, but this is what this family says. So they decided to make the move. It was not easy, but we made it happen, and they also decided to move into Round Rock. Now, something to keep in mind with this particular community, and a lot of people may get confused with this. So one of the things with this particular community is that it has a Round Rock address, but it is zoned for Hutto ISD. So again, something to keep in mind, make sure that you reach out to us and we can help you through this process. But a lot of the times this happens all the time with communities that are right on the boundaries between two cities, let's say, and the part of the community or the entire community may be zoned for a different school district. So that is definitely something that you have to keep in mind. But again, they're super happy. They have a beautiful family. They have a baby, and now they have a brand new home in Round Rock. We were able to help them through the entire process. And then finally, I have another investor that actually reached out. They live in Taiwan. Just to give you an example, all the families that we've been able to help and investors, he reached out. They flew all the way from Taiwan to come look at homes, and they also decided to settle down in Round Rock in that community that has that extremely low tax rate of 1.75%. So amazing. Okay, on to number 2. We are going down to the Cowell and Buda area, which is approximately about 30 minutes south of downtown Austin, depending on the traffic. Of course, it can go all the way up to 45 to 50 minutes, depending on where you're at. And this is one of those areas, guys, if you've been watching me for a while, I've been talking about this area for a while because there's a ton of new development coming here, and it will continue to grow. And it is within easy access to San Antonio. I don't know if you heard some of the rumors that both Austin and San Antonio kind of want to come together in a sense, share infrastructures, share transportation development so that it becomes a bigger metroplex. So just like you have the Houston Metroplex and the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, this is some of the plans that they have. Again, it's just rumors that they have, and it's something that the two cities want to do. But regardless, Cowell and Buda area, south of downtown Austin, great spot if you're trying to find a home in the low 300,000s or even below $300,000. It's a great opportunity for you guys if this is what you're looking for. So if that is your budget, that is definitely something to keep in mind. Let me back up, and I apologize. The price homes that these families were able to find in Round Rock, and I'm sorry that I'm backing up a little bit, they were all under $500,000, just to give you an example. So now, back to Buda and Kyle. If you're looking for the low 300s, maybe mid 300s, maybe under $400,000 or under $300,000, you can definitely find it here. Now, I have 3 families so far this year. They have decided to buy a home in this area. And this particular family, when they came down, they always made fun of me because of the Costco closet. If you've seen some of my home tour videos, you'll know what I'm talking about. But they decided to move down from Illinois, fully remote, beautiful young couple. They also have a baby on the way, and they have 2 really cool dogs. And they decided to buy a home in the Sunfield master plan community. Beautiful master plan community with 2 amenity centers, 2 lazy rivers. You name it, everything that you need in this community, you have it. It's like a city. You have an elementary school inside the community, and then of course you have easy access to downtown Austin. It has been building, I believe, since about 2014, 2015, if I'm not mistaken. Beautiful master plan community. They were able to find a home in the mid 400,000s or high 400,000s, if I'm not mistaken. They got a great deal, beautiful home, and they moved in about a month ago or so. The second family that I have, they also reached out there. They were coming from Las Vegas, and they wanted space. This particular family, the husband works, I believe that it's a mechanic, but basically he needs a lot of space for trucks that he's either repairing or he hauls different things. So he's like, hey, Julio, I either need some acreage or I either need something with a big garage. And guess what? In Austin, there's about 2 or 3 communities where you can get an RV garage, and I've actually made a video about this in particular with the RV garage. I'm sure the B-roll's coming in right here thanks to the editor, but if you need that much space, let's say you have a car collection. I know that's kind of random, but actually I know somebody that bought a home in this particular community because they had a car collection. You have that space. If you have a trucking business, if you just have a lot of equipment and you need to put it in a safe place, this is an amazing opportunity for that. In this particular home, it's just right outside of Buda, Texas. The home is sitting on 1 acre. You have the RV garage. It does have a septic, so that is something to keep in mind. If you have any questions about how that works, obviously we can help you with that. Brand new home, under $500,000 with an RV garage. If you don't have a trucking business, if you're not a mechanic, imagine you can set up an amazing, badass gym. If you're into working out, you can even put a pickleball court. If not, you can make a man cave, a woman cave, you name it. Imagine having that space. Amazing, amazing opportunity. The third family, older family, they decided that they wanted to downsize. They're actually coming from California. They said like, hey Julio, we want to be able to pay off this home very soon, or we just don't want a super high monthly payment. They were able to find a home under $300,000, and their payment, are you ready for this? I don't think you are. Their payment was $1,800. Now, and because I'm very honest with you guys and upfront, you have to have realistic expectations when I'm talking about this payment and the type of home that you're getting. This is more of a starter home, beautiful brand new home. They actually were able to find a lot with a green belt behind them, so meaning they don't have any neighbors, and what they see is a tree line, you know, especially in the morning, because we went to do a walkthrough in the morning, and you could hear the birds and the animals, but keep in mind that it's not a huge home. It was around 1,400 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, nice space. If this is your first home, this could be a great opportunity. But again, his payment was around $1,800 for a brand new home with warranties, with everything that you need. But again, realistic expectations. It is not a huge home, you know, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, not the biggest space. You're not super close to the amenities. That is another thing to keep in mind. If you don't mind driving a little bit, and by a little bit, I mean 15 minutes to get to the grocery store, 15 minutes to maybe to get to some restaurants and things like that, because it's in a up and coming area. However, it is growing so fast in the Kyle and the Buda area. So if that is your budget, or if you're an investor looking for these deals, we can help you find that, especially here towards the end of the year. Man, you can definitely find some good options, so keep that in mind. Okay, now moving on to Manor. I've been talking about Manor for a long time as well. This is the closest suburb to downtown Austin. You can honestly get to from Manor without traffic, of course. You can get to downtown Austin within 15 minutes, maybe even less, if there's no traffic on 290. Something to keep in mind. If you're looking at the map, and if you're somebody that's going to be commuting in and out of Manor, make sure that you commute either before that 7 o'clock rush or after 6 o'clock, because as you're coming out of Manor on 290 and 130, there's a lot of congestion there, or even just all along 290. Now, if you don't mind that, if you work from home, if you're hybrid, then it doesn't matter. But Manor, it is up and coming. Officially, an H-E-B, a Chick-fil-A, a Home Depot, I don't think a Target's coming, but many more stores are coming to the area, which means that it is finally growing, and a lot of the Manor residents have been waiting for this for a while, and I've helped a lot of families actually through the pandemic and before the pandemic find a home in this suburb. And I think a lot of people don't give it a chance. You're really close to Tesla, for one. You're about 15 minutes from Tesla, 15 minutes from downtown Austin, 15 minutes from the airport, because they're all kind of around the same area. Again, it all depends on the traffic. You have easy access to 130. 130 is a toll road. If you don't want to pay for the toll road, then you can just take 290 and go into downtown Austin. So, up and coming suburb. The reason why this particular couple decided to move here is because they had easy access to the airport, and they had easy access to downtown Austin. This couple was also moving from San Diego, and they said the same thing similar to the couple that was moving from New Jersey. They were like, hey Julio, we reached out, we love your videos. We don't think that we can afford a home here in the San Diego area. Actually, we cannot afford it. And they were able to find a huge home, 4 bedrooms, I believe 2.5 bath or 3 bath, if and I'll have to double check, around $450,000 or below that. Beautiful home, brand new home with all we were able to negotiate an appliance package. Oh, and one thing before I forget, all of these families that I've mentioned to you so far have been able to lock an interest rate below a 5% or right around 5%. I think one of them was around 5.5%, but the majority of them were either in the low 5s or below 5%. So just imagine that. You know, we just had the Fed lower the rates, and it hasn't really affected the market. But if you're still looking for a lower rate, this is the opportunity for you guys, and we can help you do that. So again, this beautiful couple, they moved from San Diego, and they were able to find a brand new home super close to downtown Austin. Now, on to number 4. We're going to the Liberty Hill suburb, which is about, give or take, about 30 to 35 miles northwest of downtown Austin. Now, when it comes to timing, it typically is going to take 50 to an hour to get to downtown Austin, especially during the week. You may be able to push it, and maybe it'll take you about 45 minutes during the weekends when there's not a whole lot of traffic. But if you're choosing to live up here in Liberty Hill, Texas, you don't have to go into downtown Austin all the time, or you don't need to go. It may just be one of those things where you go in once a month, or maybe just once every 2 months. If you're choosing to live up here, keep that in mind. It's a little bit smaller, a lot quieter. It is also up and coming, but it's not developing as fast as in the Kyle and Buda area that I mentioned before, but it is definitely an opportunity to get a beautiful home. And I'll give you an example. One of the families here was able to build their dream home. They actually found me on YouTube, of course, but they already live here in Texas. They live right outside of San Antonio. So if you live here in the Texas area, we can help you as well relocate to Austin. So anyways, they found me and they said, hey, Julio, we want to build our dream home. We want to build it from scratch. So what that means is, and please, I'm not going to get into details about this. You can definitely watch some of the other videos where I go into detail about it. But basically, when you're building from the ground up, it means that you select the piece of dirt, and then you select the floor plan that you want, the type of home that you want, and then you go to a design center and you pick everything in the house. That is what you do with that process. So now, they decided to do that. That was last year. And then around June, I believe May, June time frame, it took about 6 to 8 months to build it. They moved into the brand new home, beautiful home. They were able to select everything, and they are super, super happy. So you definitely have that option. Oh, and the community that they were able to buy, it's called Santa Rita Ranch. I've made a video about this community before. Beautiful master plan communities, 2 amenity centers, and I believe that our 3rd one is coming up soon. All kinds of price ranges. Their particular home was in the $700,000 range. Again, beautiful home that they were able to build from the ground up. A little bit over 3,000 square feet. They actually had kind of like an in-law suite in the 2nd story. So if they had family that wanted their private bathroom and their private den, they have that. In this particular case, they're using it for their kid that's in college, and they just wanted to make sure that he had his own space. So price point typically in this community is either in the high 400s and then going up all the way into the millions. But again, beautiful master plan community. They've done such a great job, and they have a ton of amenities and activities for you and the family. Liberty Hill ISD, which they're actually building a brand new high school, which looks amazing. So that was one family, and then the second family, young family, they're moving into actually one of my favorite communities in Liberty Hill after Santa Rita Ranch. It's called Lariat. Beautiful master plan community as well. And the reason why I like this community is because of the top builders that are in here. You have Tri-Point Homes, which I've shown a bunch of their homes in my channel. They just design and build beautiful homes. Tri-Point, Perry, and then one sneaky, amazing builder that's in here, which is who they built with. They're not well known here in Texas yet, but they're called Lancy Homes. They have a beautiful product and at a much lower price. They were able to build their home in the low $400,000. And their backyard, guys, I think I have a video here that I can show you. So no neighbors behind them, and they're kind of sitting on top of the hill, and they have this beautiful view of the hill country. So amazing home. They were able to build it from the ground up as well. So they went to a design center and they selected everything, and they just moved in about 3 weeks ago. And they were actually coming from Illinois. And yeah, they're happy with their home. They said that they bought their home for their dog, not for themselves. So that is number 4. Now we're going on to Leander, Texas. A lot of you here on YouTube reach out all the time about Leander. Top ranked school districts, one of the fastest growing suburbs in the entire Austin metro area for the last 10 years. I believe in 2018, 2019, it got voted the fastest growing suburb in the entire country. Huge, exciting new development that's coming to the area called Leander Northline, or Northline Leander. It's basically going to be like a mini domain, or probably about the same size. And I have two families. One of them was a single guy that's moving from Minnesota, decided to move back to the area, and he was able to find a great deal, again, on a great community. He's only about 8 to 10 minutes from that brand new development, and it's actually a 1.2 or a $1.5 billion development that's coming. Shops, restaurants, residential, you name it. It's going to become, essentially what they're doing is that it's going to become the downtown of Leander, the downtown district. So this family, or this guy, was able to find a home, again, in the mid 400,000s, all closing costs paid. His interest rate was under 5%, and we were also able to negotiate an appliance package. So again, the common theme here, guys, is that you're able to potentially get an interest rate below 5% or in the low 5%, where the market right now, it's right around 6.1, 6.2%. So amazing opportunities, and they can cover your closing costs. So, and then the second family, which today, as I'm making this video, we close on their brand new home. They're moving from the St. Louis area. They found me here in Utah. They reached out all the way back in April, and they finally signed for the keys today. Beautiful family again. They have one young daughter, and they decided to move to Leander. One of the number one reason is the top ranked school districts that they wanted for their young daughter. And their home was right around the mid 500,000s, pushing the $600,000 mark. Beautiful home. They were actually able to pick it at a stage to where they could make some small changes, and they're also backing up to a greenbelt space, so they don't have any neighbors behind them, in a beautiful community that actually, as we speak, they just built a brand new HEB. They have a Torchy's, they have other little stores, and then we just found out that across the highway, or the major road, they're building a Target. So you know what that means? That means that that area is going to continue to develop. There's going to be more amenities coming there and more residential developments as well. And they're only within 5 minutes from that particular spot. Now, to get to Austin, downtown Austin, typically for this community, it's going to take about 45 minutes, maybe to 50 minutes. So again, if you don't need the access to go into downtown Austin, Leander, Liberty Hill, Georgetown, which I'm actually not mentioning in this particular video, but it's one of my favorite suburbs in the entire area. But again, if you don't need the access to Austin, these are beautiful suburbs that you can take advantage of. A little bit quieter, a little bit calmer, a lot of young families and also established families. Or if you're looking to downsize and go to a quieter spot in the Austin metro area, these are definitely suburbs to consider. And then finally, we're going to end up with Hutto, Texas. I've actually been talking about Hutto for a long time as well. If you're looking for a lower price, last year alone, I was able to help about 6 families move to this particular area. Much lower prices, but you're right next to Round Rock, and you're about 25 miles or so northeast of downtown Austin, and it can take you anywhere from 35 minutes to 45 minutes, again, depending on the traffic. But the beautiful thing about Hutto is that you get a much lower price, and you get the access to all the amenities that Round Rock has to offer, because Round Rock is probably the most established suburb in this entire metro Austin area. So even though Hutto is developing and it has a much lower price tag, you have the access to a well-established suburb like Round Rock. And then here's another reason: if you're more in the investor mindset, well, guess what's right next to Hutto, about 12 minutes away? You have the brand new Samsung plant, which is a $17 billion investment that's coming to Taylor, Texas, which is only 12 minutes from Hutto. So just imagine, if you picture it 10, 15 years from now, just imagine what that area is going to look like if you buy a home in Hutto. Just keep that in mind. Whether you're an investor or whether you're a primary home buyer, it's going to be an amazing investment. And again, you're right next to Round Rock, and you're not too far from downtown Austin. And then finally, guys, I want to share with you this last suburb. This couple actually just went on their contract today, this morning, and it is Bee Cave, Texas. We recently made a video about this, and they actually are moving to this particular community where you have top builders like Ashton Woods, Weston, and Dries Homes. So you can imagine what kind of homes you're going to get in this particular suburb. Beautiful views of the hill country. So what you get in Bee Cave is the hill country. So if that is what you're looking for, peace, quiet, and then also views, that is what you can find here. And then the price point of these homes are anywhere from the low 600,000s and then up into the millions. This particular family was able to We were able to discount their home $50,000, and they're in the high $800,000. So if you're looking for, that price point, Bee Cave, Dripping Springs area can definitely be a great option. In fact, we were able to help a family this summer find, I believe that it was about 12 acres, and they pay $1.4 million for a beautiful estate with 2 or 3 homes on the actual land. And as we speak, they're adding a lot of livestock, and they're having their dream home for them and their kids, and they have a brand new kid coming into the family. So if you're looking for that acreage space, Dripping Springs actually got voted at low light pollution suburb or city. That is definitely something that we can help you with as well. So these are the families that have decided to reach out through YouTube. They either schedule a Zoom, give me a phone call, or shoot me a text, and we were able to find them their home. And guys, right now as we're approaching the end of the year, you won't believe the type of deals that we can find with the builders. Much lower rate, all your closing costs covered, and a discount on the actual home, a brand new home. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Until next time, adios.